Hello. This video will contain several breathing techniques that can be useful for helping to quiet your nervous system and hopefully help you have a restful night of sleep. Now, I'm going to offer several different options, and it's not that you need to do all of them. Rather, think of these as kind of a breathing technique buffet table. And you can play around with, you can experiment with these, and the hope is that you find maybe one or two that you find useful, that maybe you can use before you are going to sleep, like crawling into bed and doing these techniques to help you kind of slide into slumber. Or maybe they might be useful if you are waking up in the middle of the night and you're trying to kind of quiet your brain to fall back asleep. Now, all of these can be done lying down in bed. You don't have to come up and sit and do a formal kind of pranayama practice. These actually are accessible in whatever shape you are in as you lie down. So the first option here is this idea of mindfully kind of connecting to your breath. So instead of maybe your mind going in the direction of worrying thoughts, you're going to pay attention to your breath in the present moment. So I'm going to invite you to bring one hand onto your breastbone and one onto the front of your diaphragm. And so this has this kind of gesture also of like coming into your center. And can you notice the movement of your breath underneath your hands? And then explore, notice, do you feel more movement underneath the top hand, the bottom hand? Is it equal on both? And then the invitation is to see if you can make your breath a little bit lower and slower. This is going to be a tool to help get into kind of the part of your nervous system that puts the brakes on. So can you first try to feel like the bottom hand is where most of the movement is happening, and even that's not going to be necessarily a lot. So if you feel the top hand moving a little bit more, can you invite that to quiet a little bit, to soften? And perhaps invite the bottom hand to move a little bit more into that bottom hand, going kind of forward on the inhale, and then softening down on your exhale. A visual that I like here is maybe imagining the bottom hand is a sheet on the clothesline on a spring day, and a very gentle breeze comes along, and that sheet kind of lightly lifts up and then gently floats down on the exhale. As you're doing this, inviting the shoulders to relax, to soften. And maybe that's enough, just kind of focusing on that. Now, another thing you can do is try to lengthen that exhale a little bit. So a tool for that is maybe just to gently count how long is your exhale? How many beats? And once you have an average, can you perhaps add a count? So if it was 4 counts, can you maybe encourage it to be 5? And you can do this, or I encourage you to do this in a way that is very gentle. So it's not hard, it's not pushing. What you want to avoid on that exhale is pushing it so much that then you gotta, grab at the next inhale. So you just want to be able to slide into the inhale effortlessly. And so you do that for a few rounds, gently seeing if you can invite that exhale to be a little bit longer, but without any stress or force. Another way that you can lengthen the exhale is maybe you imagine that there's a little pause after the exhale. I like to think of it as if there is a wave coming up onto the shore, there's a little hang time before that wave goes back out into the ocean. And so can you invite that little bit of hang time, and then when the breath wants to go to the inhale, you just let the inhale arise. So creating this pause after the exhale in a very soft way. So those are some ways to kind of connect to your breath and the exhale and encourage a little bit of a lengthening quality to that exhale. In that same category of lengthening the exhale, this technique has some sound to it. So this is probably better if you are trying to fall asleep alone. It is a hum. It's called Bhramari. Bhramari meaning bee, and so the hum that goes along with the exhale has a quality like bees buzzing in a hive. Now when we make a sound, that often helps us lengthen the exhale, which can be relaxing. It also engages what's called the vagus nerve, just the sound that our ears are hearing, that also can be very soothing. So it simply sounds like this. You inhale, and then as you exhale, Now you can do this as many repetitions as you would like. But hopefully what it does is it engenders this kind of quality of soothing, of relaxing, of kind of surrendering. And hopefully that can help you kind of surrender into sleep. Another technique is known as exhale Krama. Krama means segmenting. And I think of this as kind of slowly going down the stairs of your exhale with the intention to lengthen the duration of your exhale. And it's going down the stairs, I think of like tiptoeing, trying to be quiet, trying to avoid the stairs squeaking. Okay? So what'll happen is you can do this as many segments as you want. And what I would say is if you know you are a busy thinker, probably, you could build this up to 6 different segments, okay, so that your brain has something to focus on. But you may find you're happy with just 2 segments, 3 segments, so experiment. So the idea here is, say for about 3 or 4 rounds, you just do a 1 Krama regular exhale. So you would inhale normally and exhale normally. Now after you do that for 3 or 4 times, then you would break it into 2 parts on your exhale. So that would be something like inhale, and then exhale half the breath, pause for a beat, exhale, let go of the second part of the breath, and then inhale, breathe back in again. So it's exhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale. After 3 or 4 repetitions of that, go to 3. Inhale, and then exhale, pause, exhale, pause, exhale, pause. Okay, so you could do that for 3 or 4 times. Now if you want, you could take it to 4 times, 5-part Krama 4 times, 6-part Krama 4 times. And then what would happen is when you get to the highest number you're doing, then you go down So you would go backwards to 5, then 4 Krama, then 3 Krama, 2, and then 1. And it may even be that you end up falling asleep before you kind of go all the way down. At least that's the hope. Okay? And so let yourself kind of, after each little break, each Krama, a mini little pause. Remember, it's not a grip. It's just a little hang time. All right, and then we've got simply counting backwards. So you could be lying in bed, connect to your exhale, and you want to pick a number that's maybe not as traditional. So maybe you pick 54, maybe you go 27, but the idea is on each exhale, can you start to count backwards? So for example, if you chose 27, you would inhale, exhale, 27. Inhale, exhale, 26. Okay, and you're going to keep going down until you get to 0, and then hopefully you fall asleep. If not, maybe you try another round going backwards. And if you lose count, no worries. You just kind of come back. You start again at the number you started at and slide back down. All right, and so this next one here actually has a little bit of movement. Okay, so this is our hand and foot blossoms, and it's actually in one of the videos that I show seated, but you could do this lying down in bed. So I'm going to come lie down. Now you might be on your back, knees could be bent, legs could be straight, but the idea here is you start with some soft fist. You're going to inhale, open your right hand and flex your left foot. Exhale, let them come to start, the fist and the relaxed foot, and then you'll come to the other side. Inhale, flex your right foot, open the left hand, and exhale, let those relax. And then both hands and both feet, and then exhale down. And so you'll work in a cycle of 3. Inhale, right hand, left foot. Exhale, place it down. Inhale, left hand, right foot. Exhale, placing down. Inhale, both hands, both feet. And then relax down. And doing those for as many as feels useful. I know some people refer to it a little bit as yogic counting sheep. All right, so I'm going to give you one more here. And now this last technique I'm going to offer is a variation of alternate nostril breathing. Now, traditionally, alternate nostril breathing is done using your hand in a mudra to kind of close off the nostrils. But right now, we're being encouraged not to touch our face. So what we can do is use this as a lovely opportunity to be really mindful and focused in our alternate nostril breathing. So what the technique is that as you inhale, you imagine inhaling up through the left nostril. You pause. As you exhale, you send the breath down the right nostril. And then you reverse that. You inhale through the right, pause, and exhale out through the left. And so what we're doing is just imagining the breath going in one side, and then arcing over to the other side, and then repeating but going in the opposite direction. As you're doing this, the image I like is again that wave, this idea of the breath wave coming up onto the shore, pausing briefly, and then exhaling, going back into the ocean. So you may simply enjoy paying attention to the sensations of the breath as you breathe in one nostril and out the other. If you'd like, you could layer a mantra, a phrase that really resonates with you over that breath. And what I'd like to offer here is just an option for you. It's a poem by Thich Hanh that I find works really well with this breath technique and is also very calming and soothing for me and my nervous system. So it's 4 lines, and basically for each breath of this alternate nostril breathing, you would bring a line. So the poem is, breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is the only moment. So basically, as you inhale through the left, you could silently say to yourself, breathing in, I calm body and mind. On the right, breathing out, I smile. Breathing into the right, dwelling in the present moment, and then exhaling out the left, I know this is the only moment. Breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is the only moment. So, I hope you find 1, 2 of these techniques useful, and I wish you a peaceful night of sleep to nourish your body, your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Sweet dreams.